that ain't.
There we go. Let's see if the audio's working.
That ain't gonna happen.
Yes, it is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglash for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. You're not used to me being so punctual, are you? I don't see anybody on there yet. That doesn't matter. I'm going to go on ahead anyway. And if you want the key to 10 at 10, which is the title of this show, watch it at double speed. I'll try to talk so fast you can stand it with clarity and articulation. Anyway, let's get over to Tom Fishburne. Back to the office. We've reopened the office. Why doesn't everyone want to keep working from home? Tom, this is probably your best cartoon ever. Because, I started my consulting firm just because I had a beautiful office. It was out overlooking the Performing Arts Center and the Milwaukee River, and it was really, I had ceiling to floor windows, and I had, 10-foot ceilings or something. Just a beautiful, beautiful office, probably 500 square feet or better. And the kind of office you could have exercise equipment in or something, and close my own door and everything. Like a real office. And so I started my consulting firm because it was downtown, and so I had to commute in Milwaukee. Think about the traffic in Milwaukee. There's not much traffic. But the last 20 blocks or so of getting to downtown was always backed up. And further, I had to park about 3 blocks away, and I had this big old compact computer that weighed maybe 15 pounds or something, plus whatever else I wanted to carry. And I couldn't imagine doing that in the winter. So just going back to the office got me to go off on my own because we moved offices. So Ron Carucci, in his Harvard Business Review article last month on return to the office, if the transition to work from home wasn't challenging enough, the transition of back to the office may prove even more difficult. Our brains will be looking for familiar routines to return to that simply won't be there. You can still watch the news every morning, the marketing news, the global marketing news, even if you're at the office. Yeah, I know, it's be harder. You have to sneak it. I don't know how you do it. Maybe on your phone. And when that happens, our brain will have to expend extra energy to adjust on the fly. This transition will invite us to bring the best versions bring the best versions of ourselves back to the office and reveal how the pandemic made us even stronger. More than likely, the backbiting and the politics will start up again with equal fervor. Anyway, knowing that, your role as the team leader is uniquely important in helping others traverse with this with hope, kindness, and patience to make sure all those that you're stabbing in the back aren't going to notice right away. Ron cites a recent Harvard study that found that 81% of people either don't want to go back to the office or would prefer some hybrid schedule going forward. Now, the problem with the hybrid schedule, I can tell you, because we kind of run hybrid schedules, and you can't ever tell when anybody's going to be here or when you're going to get a hold of them, and they might be at Great America and they don't want to be in on a meeting or something. So the flexibility of work from home is way too disruptive. In fact, the business owner really wants this kind of environment where we can make sure that your nose is to the grindstone without really any let up, no matter how bloody the grindstone wheel gets. Morgan Stanley CEO James Gorman recently warned that he would be very disappointed if workers aren't back in the office by Labor Day, and if they're not, he threatened, then we'll have a different kind of conversation. He's basically saying we'll fire you if you don't get back here. Well, that's what you need. You need a little strong leadership. I wonder how many will quit like I did. I quit basically the first day that I had to drive downtown into bad traffic. And I thought, this is stupid. I can work. I didn't work from home because I had 4 little kids, or 3 little kids and one on the way, and didn't know if I could do that home and work, daddy's working in the doors closed kind of thing. I didn't know if they'd get that. My son-in-law has done a really excellent job of that, with the pandemic and his kids. So maybe I could have done it. Maybe I should have done it. So meetings. Yeah, the advantage is you can have more meetings and do less work. Digital trans. I think Tom likes this cartoon the best of all of his work. I don't particularly. Change is just what it is. Change is opportunity and threats mixed together. The new normal. Loopy. And are you sure we should base our marketing plan on everything just getting back to business as usual? Right. Okay. McCormick to pay $100,000 for Director of Taco Relations. But there's a few catches. You get to be an ambassador. You get to travel around for 4 months, visit to headquarters, help them work on new taco flavorings, and you're basically a Miss America of taco for McCormick. I think it's a pretty good deal. The gig lasts and pays $100,000. That's pretty good, man. And what you got to do, you got 1 day to do this. That's why I had to get it in today. The video auditions have to be submitted by July 20th. Now, I've seriously considered this because I'm so good on video, as you all know. And so it's supposed to show personality, storytelling skills, and love of tacos. Unfortunately, I don't really love tacos. They spill all over the place. I'm not good at eating them. That's just the problem with it, It makes a lot of sense if you're skilled in that, but I'm not. And I like to put lots of stuff in there. Too much stuff. I get the ratios wrong. And so, and it's basically the taco mix dumped on the ground beef. Though I think I could do really well in the auditions, I just don't want to spend 4 months doing tacos. Here's some good news you won't see on any other news channel. Austrian Post has a good year, half-year performance for 2021. Parcels are up 20%, and they're also apparently running Turkey's post office. I don't know what CEE is, but Turkey is up 24% on parcel. Letter volumes down another 3%. No surprise there. But here's a good one. Direct mail volumes are up 2%, which isn't a lot, but hey, it's something, right? At least we got some growth for a change instead of our regular 4% decline. Okay, so I thought you'd get a kick out of that one. Ritson, excellent article, as always. There are many reasons to start worrying about your brand and consulting with bozos like me. Bozos like me. For strategic help. Over the years, I've learned to appreciate that the list is long and loopy of reasons. But the corporate decision, one of the biggest is the corporate decision to reposition or, God forbid, completely rebrand. In almost all those instances, he's had about a dozen of these big ones, I've made an impassioned and occasionally persuasive argument not to pursue this plan, but look elsewhere. And I've been involved in some of those. One of the benefits of mail that Mark doesn't probably appreciate, he can't help it. He's a big brand guy, is that mail you can still preserve some, you may have taken a little bit of a detour. You may have found a new market, but you can still pound the old market with the same basic offer and not tell them that you found a way to increase the competition in their industry by marketing to, well, we did this with dog groomers. We did some geodemographics, business to business. We were selling to dog grooming companies. And, I'd seen Best of Show. And so we took, when we did a profile in the fall, we found that the dog groomers were in upscale neighborhoods, high income, high education, high population density, high median dwelling value, all that stuff. And we kind of labeled that market Fifi the Poodle. And then in the spring, because we had made them so much money on the first modeling, they said, why don't you do it again? So we did, and then all of a sudden it was downscale. It was low income, low education, low population density, low dwelling value, and just everything was low. I'd never seen anything like that flip in business to business. It turned out that in the spring, dogs get clipped by their owners because they're full of burrs, and the dogs like it, and they don't care how they look. So instead of going to dog groomers for $100 a pop or something, they'll take them to the vet or the kennel or the boarding or the pet store, and they'll get it done. And so it was an entirely new market. We estimated it might be 20 times bigger than the best of show people, because most dog owners aren't that concerned, aren't super concerned with the grooming, maybe once a year or something. But it was a much, much bigger market. And so we rebranded. They changed the name to Pet Edge, and they started marketing not only dog grooming products to pet stores, but they started selling other pet products, toys and accessory items, etc. Because they had more buying power than Petco, I guess, at the time, and did really well. And so, but we didn't want to alienate the dog groomers, so we were able to do a database analysis. We asked the client to identify the superior pet grooming products that a dog clipper wouldn't use. One of them I remember was like they had some beautiful German scissors that were, I don't know, $200 or something a pair. And, the average person, the average pet store won't spend that kind of money. So anybody that bought that or other similar products that were really for the professional groomer, we kept mailing the professional groomer catalog to. And the rest of the world, we started mailing the dog clipper market, especially in the spring. And the company grew in a recession more than 20%. They hadn't been growing much because, dog grooming isn't that big of explosive growth industry. And but we managed to grow 20% that year, 20% the next year, 20% the year after that. And then they decided to do it on their own and got into some more troubled waters. They did hire us back again. But the point is that you can, with mail, often, you can reposition, and I have other stories like that, but that's today's story. You can reposition without completely alienating an existing profitable market, if you're careful. Because, you don't know what your next door neighbor got in the mail, right? Fundamentally. Okay, so try to find successful examples of brands that have changed completely what they stand for. If you can find any, and most people can't, then Nokia might be the best example. It was a lumber company in Sweden or Finland or something, and there you go. But rebranding, where you change the perception and the name and the livery, is pretty nearly impossible, but certainly cost prohibitive and insane, according to Ritson. I think that there's truth in that. If you want the entire article already marked up, go to WDMA and subscribe. If you're already subscribed, it's free. Go to the members only section, and every day's show notes are down there, all marked up for you, and so you get to know the important parts. But I can't do a 17-minute article on a 10-minute show. But it's a 3-step motion. Go back to your origins, distill what you remember and discover, and then think about a way to deliver that in a new way. The paradox of branding is that consistency demands change. And great brands have magic in them, but then they maintain that magic by updating and evolving. And Ritson's last article was on John Lewis, the department store that's going to take some of their real estate and put up family dwellings and decorate them, fully furnished with their furniture and stuff. and I think it's a pretty cool idea, and Ritson thinks it's a really cool idea. There's almost no risk in it. So go back to that John Lewis video if you want more information on that. What's cool becomes uncool. What's fast appears slow. Time makes fools of all brands that stand still. There's a lot of pithy, good comments on here. And here's the basic formula. Step back, boil it down, then look forward. Okay? And he takes as an example the National Lottery in the UK. When they started, it was about thousands and hundreds of thousands of prizes, but it was also that the money was going to go to enhance our national life. It's going to fund charities and other good causes in the UK.